I wasn't looking for my past when I stepped into that cluttered thrift shop, but it found me anyway. It was a brisk October afternoon, the kind where the world feels poised for change, leaves crunching underfoot like whispers of things left behind. Tucked in a dusty corner, half buried under chipped teacups and faded lamps, sat an old piano, its keys yellowed, its wood scarred, humming with a story I didn't yet know. I'm not sure why I stopped. Maybe it was the way it seemed, to call my name. Or maybe I was just chasing a distraction from the ache I'd carried since I was a kid. I bought it on impulse, never imagining it held a secret that would crack my heart wide open, a note from the father I'd never known. I was 7 when I first asked about him. My mom's answers were sharp, clipped, a whirlwind romance, a broken heart, a man who vanished before I took my first breath. "Don't waste your time," she'd say, her voice thick with old wounds. But I did. I'd sit at my window, sketching his face in my mind, wondering if he'd recognize the girl who shared his eyes. At 27, I thought I'd buried that longing. I had a life, friends, a job, a knack for curating playlists that could fix any mood. But deep down, I was still that kid, sketching a ghost. When I hauled the piano into my tiny apartment, I heard it, a faint rattle, like a heartbeat trapped inside. I pried open the lid, expecting a broken string or a lost trinket. Instead, I found a folded note, its edges brittle, tucked beneath the hammers. My hands shook as I unfolded it, the slanted handwriting slicing through me. To my daughter, my biggest regret. My breath stopped. Was this him? Why here, in this forgotten piano after all these years? The words were few, but they burned, hinting at a life he'd walked away from, and a truth I wasn't sure I could face. There's a pain in loving someone you've never met, in mourning a life you were never given. Sitting on my floor, clutching that note, I felt it all, grief, anger, and a flicker of hope I didn't trust. Who was he? Why did he write this? And how did his words find me now, when I'd spent a lifetime trying to let him go? This piano, this note, it's more than a discovery. It's a door to a past I'm not sure I'm brave enough to open. But I have to know. I have to know what he regretted, and why it matters now. This is my story, but maybe it's yours too. A bay. Story of holes we carry, of secrets that find us when we least expect them. If you've ever wondered about the pieces of your past that don't fit, or felt the pull of a mystery you can't ignore, hit that like button and tell me in the comments. What would you do if you found a note like this? Subscribe, because this is just the beginning. 10 chapters lie ahead, and I'm taking you with me to uncover the truth behind that note, one trembling step at a time. That October afternoon, I didn't go looking for my past, but it was lying in wait, crouched in the shadowed corner of a thrift shop that smelled of dust and lost things. The air outside was sharp, carrying the bite of autumn, leaves skittering across the cracked pavement like secrets slipping free. Inside, the shop, was a maze of other people's cast-offs, chipped mugs, dog-eared paperbacks, a lamp with a frayed cord. And there, half buried in the clutter, stood an old piano, its wood scarred like a battle-worn soldier, its keys stained yellow, humming with a weight I couldn't name. I stopped dead, my breath snagging in my throat, as if it had whispered, "Ellie." Maybe I was just tired of the ache I'd carried since I was a kid, the one I'd smothered under playlists and forced smiles. Or maybe it was something else, something older pulling me closer. I handed over my last $200, not knowing I was buying a truth that would break me open. A note from the father I'd never known. The shopkeeper, a grizzled man with eyes heavy, from years of watching people come and go, muttered that the piano was cursed. His voice was low, like he was sharing a secret he didn't want to own. I laughed it off, but a chill slid down my spine, cold as the October wind. At home, I dragged the piano into my tiny apartment, its bulk filling the room like an uninvited guest. I spent hours polishing its worn surface, my fingers tracing the scars, lingering on a carved initial, E, mine, etched into the side like a signature I didn't ask for. It felt personal, intimate, as if the piano knew me better than I knew myself. Midnight came, the world outside quiet except for the rustle of leaves against my window. I couldn't sleep, the piano's presence too loud in the dark. Then I heard a faint rattle, like a heartbeat trapped inside the wood. It wasn't a sound you could ignore. It was insistent, alive, pulling me out of bed. My hands shook as I approached, the floorboards creaking under my bare feet. I lifted the lid, my pulse hammering, and there, tucked among the rusted strings, was a yellowed note, its edges fraying like it had been waiting for years. I unfolded it, my breath catching, and the words hit me like a blade. To my daughter, my biggest regret. I stood frozen, the handwriting staring back, slanted, hurried, yet somehow familiar, like a reflection I'd never seen. It felt like mine, but it wasn't. I read it again, each word a splinter. I had to leave, but you were always with me. Rage surged through me, hot and sharp, tangled with grief and a hunger for answers I wasn't sure I wanted. Who was he to write this, to call me his regret? Why now? After 27 years of silence, the piano loomed behind me, its silence heavier than the note in my hands, and I knew this was only the beginning. I was already falling into his story, and I wasn't sure I'd come out whole. The note sits on my nightstand, a ghost that won't let me close my eyes. Its words are splinters, digging into the life I've patched together to forget him. Playlists for every mood, late-night laughs with friends, a job that pays the rent. At 27, I thought I'd outrun the questions. Who was he? Why did he leave? Did he ever care? But now, his handwriting, slanted, urgent, stares back, and my apartment feels too small, the piano too loud in its silence. I trace the words again, each one a cut. My biggest regret. I'm caught between wanting to tear it apart and needing to chase its truth, and I hate how much I still want him to matter. I called my mom that morning, my voice trembling as I held the note like evidence. "Ellie, he's gone," she snapped, her tone sharp with old wounds. "Let him stay that way." The line went dead, her bitterness a wall I couldn't climb. I sat there staring at the note, noticing a faint smudge in the corner, a musical staff, maybe, etched like a secret code. It made my stomach twist, as if he'd left a piece of himself for me to decode. At work, I was useless, ignoring emails, my mind stuck on that carved initial, E, on the piano's side. A coworker asked why I looked haunted, and I bit back. "Mind your own business," sharper than I meant. That night, I searched online for the piano's maker, an obscure 1960s model called a Wurlitzer. A blog post caught my eye, buried in a forum for antique collectors. A similar piano, sold at an estate sale in my town a decade ago, linked to a musician who vanished after a fire. The word fire stuck, heavy as the note in my pocket. I couldn't shake the feeling that the piano was more than wood and wire. It was a bridge to him, to a past I'd never touched but always felt. Back in my apartment, the piano loomed, its scars glowing faintly in the moonlight. I pressed a key, just one, and its sour, dissonant note rang out like a warning. My heart thudded, and for a moment I swore I heard my own pulse echoing back. I don't know why I reached inside again. Instinct? Maybe, or something deeper, but my fingers brushed a crack beneath the keys. There, tucked tight, was another note, smaller, its paper brittle as a dead leaf. I unfolded it, my breath shallow, and read, "Look for me at the lake house, Ellie." My name, in his hand, stopped my heart cold. Ellie. He knew me, not just as a daughter, but as me. The room spun, the piano's shadow stretching across the walls like it was alive. How did he know I'd find this? Why a lake house? A place I'd never heard of but felt like a memory. Rage and longing twisted together, pulling me toward something I couldn't name. I clutched the note, my fingers trembling, and knew I was already too far in to turn back. The piano wasn't just a thing. It was his voice, calling me into a story I wasn't sure I could survive. Lake house burns in my skull, a phrase I've never known but feel like I should, like a song stuck on repeat from a life I didn't live. I'm unraveling, my carefully curated world. Playlists for heartbreak, coffee runs, late night, laughs, crumbling under the weight of his words. I dig through old boxes in my closet, pulling out photos of my mom, her smile tight as a clenched fist, and me, a kid with eyes that always searched for him. The piano looms in my apartment, its silence louder than my thoughts, daring me to chase a man I've spent years pretending I don't need. I want to burn his notes, but I'm already too deep in their pull. I drive to the library that morning, my hands shaking as I comb through property records on a flickering computer screen. The air smells of old paper and desperation, and I'm half expecting nothing but dead ends. A librarian, her voice soft as worn cotton, leans over and mentions a local story, a musician who vanished after a lake house fire in '98, his name swallowed by rumor. My pulse spikes. It's too close to the blog post, too close to him. I find a deed in the records, a lake house owned by Daniel Harper, my mom's maiden name. The coincidence cuts like glass, sharp and undeniable. Back home, the piano feels alive, its scarred wood watching me. I sit at it, my fingers hesitant, and press keys at random, each note sour and jagged. Then, a click. A hidden panel in the back pops open, revealing a locket, heavy and tarnished. Inside is a photo of a man, his eyes like mine, dark and searching. My breath catches, anger flaring hot. Why hide this from me? Why make me hunt for him like a scavenger? But there's hope too, fragile as a cracked key, whispering that maybe he wanted me to find him. I clutch the locket, its weight grounding me and tearing me apart. The library's records, the librarian's story, the locket. They're pieces of a puzzle I'm not sure I want to solve. My mom's voice echoes in my head. Let him stay dead. But it's drowned out by the piano's silent scream. I pace my apartment, the note's words. Look for me at the lake house, Ellie. Burning brighter than my fear. I'm angry at him for leaving, at myself for caring, at the hope that keeps clawing through my chest. By dusk, I've made up my mind. I'll drive to the lake house tomorrow, to whatever's left of it. My heart pounds, a mix of dread and longing. I can't untangle. The locket's photo haunts me. His face, so like mine, feels like a memory I've forgotten. What did he leave there? Answers, or just more questions? The piano's shadow stretches across my floor, and I feel him in it, his absence heavier than ever. I'm not ready for this, but I can't stop now. I'm chasing a ghost, and I don't know if I'll find him or lose myself. If a single clue could unlock your past, would you follow it, even if it led to pain? Share your thoughts below. The drive to the lake house is a haze of bare branches clawing at a gray sky, my hands clamped tight on the wheel. The locket burns in my pocket, its photo, sharp jaw, haunted eyes, etched into my mind like a bruise. His words, my biggest regret, loop in my head, making me feel small, unwanted, yet desperate to know him. The road twists deeper into wilderness, and I'm not sure if I'm chasing answers or driving straight into a wound that's never healed. October's chill seeps through the car, and the world feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for me to break. My GPS sputters, the signal fading as the road narrows to a rutted path choked with thorns, as if the lake house doesn't want to be found. I pull over at a gas station, its flickering sign the only light for miles. An old woman behind the counter glances at the locket as I pay for coffee, her eyes narrowing. "That's Danny Harper," she whispers, her voice rough as gravel. "He broke more than hearts." My stomach lurches. How does she know him? She turns away before I can ask, leaving me with a name and a warning I can't shake. I reach the lake house at dusk, its charred skeleton sagging against the trees, the air thick with ash and something heavier, like grief you can breathe. The windows are dark, jagged holes, and the silence is deafening, broken only by the crunch of my boots on dead leaves. Inside, I find sheet music scattered across the floor, yellowed pages curling like they're trying to escape. Some are signed D.H., Daniel Harper, my father. My fingers tremble as I touch them, each note a piece of him I never knew. A neighbor's voice startles me, sharp and wary through the broken door. "This place is bad luck," she says, her eyes scanning me like I'm a trespasser. "Leave before dark." I want to ask her about Danny, about the fire, but her glare stops me cold. I can't leave, not yet. The house feels alive, its shadows whispering secrets I'm not ready to hear. I stumble on a loose floorboard, my heart lurching as it reveals a locked box, my initials, E.M., carved into its lid with careful, deliberate strokes. I kneel, the box heavy in my hands, its weight pulling me down. My breath catches. The locket's photo flashing in my mind. His eyes. My eyes. What did he leave here? Answers? Or just more pain? The neighbor's warning echoes, but it's drowned out by the lake house's pulse, by the need to know why he called me his regret. The air grows colder, the shadows thicker, and I feel him here. His absence a presence I can't escape. I'm not sure what I'm chasing anymore. Him, or the part of me he took when he left. All I know is the box holds something I can't walk away from, and I'm terrified of what it'll cost to open it. The box is heavy in my hands, its carved initials, E.M., staring up like a challenge I'm not sure I can meet. I'm on the lake house floor, the wind howling through shattered windows, its wail matching the storm in my chest. The piano's notes, the locket, this place. They're threads of a truth I'm not ready to face, but they're pulling me apart. I'm angry at him for leaving, at myself for caring, at the hope that keeps clawing through my ribs like a trapped animal. The box feels alive, its weight heavier than wood and metal, as if it holds his shadow. And mine. I try to pry it open, my nails scraping the lock, but it's sealed tight, mocking my desperation. I rummage through the scattered sheet music, my hands shaking, and find a letter. Its ink faded to a whisper. It's addressed to my mom, the words pleading. Forgive me for a choice I couldn't escape. My throat tightens. What choice? Why did he leave us to carry his ghosts? My phone buzzes, shattering the silence. My mom, her voice sharp with panic. "Ellie, where are you?" she demands. And for the first time, I hear fear beneath her anger, raw and unfamiliar. I ignore her, searching the lake house, its shadows stretching like fingers. In a cracked mirror frame, I find a photo. A girl, maybe 3, with my eyes, smiling at someone I can't see. Is it me? The question burns, and I clutch the photo, my fingers leaving smudges on its edges. The lake house creaks, the wind carrying ash and memory, and I feel him here, his absence a weight I can't shake. I'm back at the box, my heart pounding, when I notice the locket in my pocket. Its clasp is tight, but it pops open, revealing a tiny key, glinting like a secret in the moonlight. I hold the key, my breath shallow, the world narrowing to its sharp edges. It's the answer to the box. I know it. but it feels like a blade I'm pressing against my own skin. What's inside? His truth or my ruin? The locket's photo flashes in my mind. His eyes, my eyes. And I'm torn between rage and a hope I don't trust. My mom's voice echoes, her panic a warning, but it's drowned out by the lake house's pulse, by the need to know why he left, why he called me his regret. The key trembles in my hand, the box waiting like a held breath. I'm not sure I'm brave enough to turn it, to face whatever he hid all those years ago. The wind howls louder, the shadows thicker, and I feel the lake house closing in, its charred walls holding secrets I'm not sure I can carry. But I can't walk away. Not now. Not when I'm this close to him. The key is cold, the box heavier than ever. And I know, with a clarity that cuts, that whatever's inside will change me forever. I'm standing on the edge of my past, and there's no going back. If you held the key to a secret that might shatter you, would you turn it or walk away? Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments. The key clicks in the lock, and the box opens with a sound that echoes in my chest, sharp as a snapped string. Inside lies a journal, its leather cracked, pages brittle as old bones, filled with Daniel Harper's slanted handwriting. His words are a confession, each one a knife. Love for my mom, a choice that broke them, a secret kept to shield me. I'm crying, tears smudging the ink, not sure if I'm grieving him or the life I never had. The lake house creaks around me, its charred walls closing in, and I'm trapped between wanting to read more and wanting to burn it all down. The journal tells of Daniel, a musician with dreams too big for his pockets, tangled in debts to men, with no mercy. He writes of threats, to my mom, to me, a baby he barely knew. Leaving was his only way to keep us safe, he says. But the words feel hollow, like an excuse I can't trust. He describes hiding the note in the piano, a desperate hope I'd find it someday, a love he couldn't speak. Each page is a wound, and I'm bleeding out, my fingers trembling as I turn them. A sketch stops me cold, a portrait of me, a baby, drawn with such care it hurts to look at. My chubby cheeks, my eyes, captured in pencil strokes that feel like love. My chest tightens, breath shallow, as if the lake house is stealing my air. Why draw me if he was just going to leave? Why make me chase him through time? The questions choke me, and I'm not sure I can keep reading, but my hands won't stop, pulled by a need I can't name. A crunch of gravel outside snaps me out of it, my heart leaping. Headlights slice through the dark, cutting across the broken windows. I freeze, the journal heavy in my lap as footsteps approach, deliberate and close. The door creaks open, and my mom steps in, her face pale as ash, eyes wild with something beyond anger. "You can't be here, Ellie," she shouts, her voice cracking like the walls around us. She snatches the journal, her hands trembling, and I see it. Fear, raw and deep, not just for me, but for what she's kept hidden. I'm on my feet, demanding answers, my voice raw. What did he do? What are you hiding? She doesn't answer, her eyes locked on the journal like it's a bomb. The lake house feels alive, its shadows pulsing with secrets we've both been running from. I grab her arm, desperate, but she pulls away, clutching the journal tighter. "You don't understand," she whispers. And I realize she's not just protecting me, she's protecting herself. The journal's words burn in my mind. Debts, threats, a choice. And I know there's more she's not saying, more that could break us both. The wind howls, carrying the smell of ash and regret, and I'm standing in the wreckage of my past. The journal's truth a weight I can't carry alone. My mom's fear, Daniel's confessions, they're pieces of a puzzle I'm not sure I want to finish. But I'm too deep now, and the lake house won't let me go. My mom grips the journal like it's a live wire, her eyes wild with a pain I've never seen, like she's staring at a ghost. His, mine, or both. I'm screaming for the truth, my voice raw, echoing off the lake house's charred walls. For once, she doesn't shut me down, her words spilling out in jagged pieces. A fight the night Daniel left, not just about love but something darker. A secret she swore to bury. I'm shaking, caught in the crossfire of her grief and mine. And the piano's shadow feels like it's swallowing us whole, its silence louder than our shouts. She confesses in a whisper, her voice breaking. Daniel owed money to men who didn't forgive, men who'd burn a house or worse to collect. Leaving was his only way to keep us safe, she says, but her eyes flicker with something unspoken. I demand why she hid this, why she let me grow up thinking he didn't care. I wanted you to live free, Ellie, not haunted by his shadow, she says, but her hands tremble, betraying her. The journal's weight between us feels like a wedge, splitting open years of silence. I flip through its pages, my fingers frantic, and find a note tucked inside, addressed to her. I'm sorry. For the betrayal. For what I had to do. Betrayal. What does that mean? My mom's face crumples, and I realize she's been carrying his secrets as long as I've carried his absence. My anger surges, but it's tangled with pity. For her, for me, for the family we never were. The lake house creaks, its shadows shifting, and I feel him here, his choices binding us tighter than love ever did. We drive home, the journal on the seat between us, a silent accusation. The silence is heavy, thicker than the October fog outside, and I'm drowning in it. At my apartment, I notice the piano's lid is open, though I swore I locked it. My skin prickles, a chill running through me. Someone's been here. I check the journal, my heart pounding, and find a new page, one I missed. A phone number, scrawled in his handwriting, with the words, "Call if she finds me." My breath catches, the number a lifeline and a threat all at once. I'm torn, my mom's confession clashing with the journal's secrets. She's asleep on my couch, her face softer but still guarded, and I'm alone with the piano, its presence a pulse in the dark. The number stares up at me, daring me to dial, to chase him further into a past that's already breaking me. What did he betray? Who was he running from? The open lid feels like a warning, a sign I'm not as alone as I thought. Someone knows. I'm digging, and the piano's watching. Its scars holding truths I'm not sure I'm brave enough to face. The night presses in, cold and heavy, and I'm standing at a crossroads. My mom's fear, Daniel's regret, my own hunger for answers. The journal's note burns in my mind, its apology a puzzle piece that doesn't fit. I'm not just chasing him anymore. I'm chasing the truth of who I am. And it's a weight I can't put down. Not now. Not ever. The phone number glares up. From the journal, my thumb frozen over the screen, each digit a step toward a cliff. It's been 27 years. Could he be out there? Waiting? Or is this just another ghost? The piano looms in my apartment's dark, its silence a roar, urging me to dial. My mom's asleep on the couch, the journal hidden under my bed, and I'm alone with a choice that feels like falling into a void. I want to hate him, to bury his shadow, but I need his voice more. Need to know why he left me to carry his absence. The phone rings, each tone a blade, and I'm not sure if I want an answer or silence. A man picks up, his voice rough but warm, like gravel smoothed by time. "Ellie, is that you?" he says, and my heart stops. He knows my name, like he's been waiting all these years. He claims he's Daniel Harper, my father, and says he's watched me from afar, unable to return until now. It wasn't safe, he murmurs, his voice cracking, and I'm furious, shouting into the dark. Why? Didn't you come back? Why leave me? His silence is heavy, broken only by a sigh that carries years of regret. I grip the phone, my knuckles white, torn between his words and the ache they reopen. He begs to meet tomorrow at a diner in town, his voice trembling with something like hope. I need to see you, Ellie, he says, and I can't tell if it's love or guilt driving him. I'm shaking, the locket's weight in my pocket grounding me, its photo, his eyes, my eyes, burning in my mind. I agree, my voice barely a whisper, but as I hang up I feel it, a prickle of dread, like the air's shifted. I check the piano, my hands unsteady, and find a scrap of paper slipped inside overnight. He's lying. Stay away. My breath catches. The note's handwriting sharp, unfamiliar, not his. Fear claws up my spine. Someone else knows I'm chasing him, knows I called. The apartment feels smaller, the piano's shadow stretching like a warning. Who wrote this? Who's watching? Me? I pace, the journal's secrets and my mom's confession swirling in my head. Daniel's voice echoes, warm but fragile, and I want to believe him. But the note's warning cuts deeper, a blade of doubt I can't ignore. I sit by the piano, its keys glinting in the moonlight, and feel the weight of every choice. His toe. Leave, mine to search, someone else's to warn. The open lid, the note, the call. They're pieces of a puzzle that's no longer just about him. I'm not alone in this, and that scares me more than his absence ever did. The phone lies silent, but his voice lingers, a promise and a threat. Tomorrow's meeting feels like a trap I'm walking into willingly, and I don't know if I'm chasing my father or the truth of who I've become. The night is cold, the piano colder, and I'm standing in its shadow, holding a note that could unravel everything. I'm not ready, but I'm already falling, and there's no way back. The diner's neon buzzes, its flicker syncing with the unsteady beat of my heart. I'm early, clutching the locket, its weight an anchor as I scan every face for the man whose eyes I share. The notes, the journal, the warning. They're a storm in my head, drowning me in questions I can't answer. The air smells of burnt coffee and grease, the kind of place that holds secrets in its cracks. When he walks in, I know it's Daniel. Older, worn, his face carved with lines. But those eyes, my eyes, unmistakable. My throat tightens. I want to run to him, away from him, both at once. Something's wrong, a shadow in his gaze, and I feel it before he speaks. He sits across from me, his hands unsteady, and says, "I'm sorry, Ellie," his voice thick with years of guilt. I'm frozen, the locket burning in my palm as he tells me he's still running. Debts from decades ago, men who don't forget. My search, he says, has stirred them up, put me in their sights. His words hit like a punch. I've drawn danger, to myself, to us. I pull out the warning note. He's lying. Stay away. And his face drains, eyes wide. I didn't write that, he swears, his voice cracking and fear spikes through me. If not him, then who? A man in the corner watches. Us. His stare cold as steel. His presence a weight I can't ignore. My skin prickles. The diner's hum fading as I realize we're not safe. Daniel leans closer, his voice low, urgent. "Come with me, Ellie," he begs. "We can leave town, start over, be a family." The word family cuts deep, a dream I buried long ago, but the warning note burns in my mind, its words louder than his. I want to believe him, to grab his hand and run, but doubt coils tight, choking the hope I don't trust. The diner's lights flicker, the watcher's gaze sharper now, and my heart pounds like a trapped thing. Daniel's eyes search mine, pleading, but there's something off. A twitch in his jaw, a shadow I can't read. Is he lying, or is the note a trap? I'm torn, the journal's confessions, my mom's fear, the piano's weight all crashing together. I can't breathe, the air thick with his regret and my own. I stand, my chair scraping loud, and his hand reaches for mine, but I pull back, his touch a spark I'm not ready for. I bolt from the diner, his voice calling, "Ellie, wait!" The cold bites my skin, the parking lot dark and endless. Footsteps echo behind me, heavy, deliberate. And I run faster, the locket bouncing against my chest. I don't know if it's Daniel, the watcher, or someone else, but fear drives me now, sharper than hope. The diner's neon fades, and I'm alone with the night, with questions I can't answer. He's here, real, but so is the danger, and I'm caught in a story that's no longer just mine. I'm running from him, toward him, and I don't know which is worse. I'm back in my apartment, the piano staring like it sees through me, its scars glowing in the dark. The door's locked, but safety feels like a lie. The journal, the locket, the notes, they're pieces of a truth I'm still chasing, each one a weight I can't put down. I open the piano one last time, my hands trembling, and there's a final note, his handwriting clear. "I'm proud of you, Ellie. Let me go." I'm sobbing, realizing he's been closer than I knew, protecting me in his broken way. I may never see him, but I've found something stronger than his absence. Myself. I call my mom, my voice raw, and we talk, really talk, about Daniel, about the love and pain we both carried. Her tears match mine, her walls crumbling as she admits she loved him too, despite his betrayal. We sit on my couch, the journal between us, its pages softer now, less a weapon. I drive to the lake house at dawn, the locket heavy in my pocket. I leave it on the doorstep, its photo, his eyes, my eyes, a quiet goodbye to the ghost I've chased for too long. Back home, I sit at the piano, my fingers finding a melody that's mine, halting but true. Each note carries him, his regret, his love, and me, the woman I'm becoming. The music fills the room, raw and unbroken, and I feel him in it, not as a shadow, but as a part of me I can finally hold. I decide to donate the piano to a community center, its scars and secrets now someone else's story to find. It's not mine anymore, but its song will always be. I take the journal, its pages worn from my hands, and slip in a note of my own. "Dad, I forgive you. I'm free." The words are heavy, but they lift me, like shedding a skin I've outgrown. I close the journal, its weight lighter now, and step into October's chill, the air sharp with possibility. The piano's gone, but its melody lingers, a thread connecting me to him, to myself. I'm not the girl who bought it, searching for a father I'd never know. I'm Ellie, whole, carrying a truth that's mine to keep. This journey was mine, but it's yours too. It's about the holes we carry, the ghosts we chase, the strength we find when we stop running. I've learned to live with his absence, not as a wound, but as a part of me, like a scar that tells a story. I don't know if I'll see him again, but I don't need to. I found what he left me, not just notes, but the courage to face them. October's light is softer now, and I'm ready to walk into it, carrying my own song. If you've ever chased a shadow or found a truth that changed you, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, what would you say to someone you loved but never knew? Subscribe, because I'm still writing my story, and I want you with me for what comes next.